Alright, I want y'all to pay attention to this one. I'm going to give you some inside scoop. Alright, and some collectors and some knife guys might get a little aggravated that I'm doing this, but this is something that that's what my channel's all about. I don't think I hurt anything by letting people know. I just think I sparked the collectability of maybe the hobby. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret on how I pick up used knives, how I do this. So every once in a while I go out and I basically go out and I purchase a bunch of knives and I hold on to them to when I feel that the economy is good, and I sell them for a profit. Some I maintain, I keep myself, but in general I sell them to make a profit, to make extra money. And here we go. Pay no attention to the price tags on them, because the price tags, some of them are the manufacturer price tags, and some of them are from garage sales from years gone back. What I paid for these is not even marked on these cases. So I did buy, well, let me see, I spent $300 on this box. How about that? Okay. So to give you an idea of what my profitability is. And when I buy a box, what I do is, I don't care what the knife is, what I'll do for my records is that I will, state the fact that I spent $300 on, let's say, 20 knives, and I'll divide that into 300, and that's how much each knife cost me. Okay? So that way the paperwork doesn't get too difficult for me, or crazy, or I have to not track a bunch of, like, paid $7 for this knife and I sold it for $26.95 or whatever. And this isn't a business. This is just to expand my collection, and my collection reflects that. My collection is constantly growing. All right, so this is nothing you have to, I don't have to, pay tax on this or anything like that. It's just expanding my own personal collection. All right, so we'll just go through some of these, and you guys can kind of see some of the neat knives that you can find. So we'll zoom this in just a little bit. How's that? Perfect. And this is a really cool one. Look at this. This is a presentation knife, Norway. Look at that. They don't make knives like this anymore, and this one actually dates back to, let me see here, 1969. Look at that old dude on there, man. Isn't that cool? Still in the box, 1969. Pretty cool. I have one from the, what is this one? I think this is from the 80s. And this one is the same type of knife. It is marked a little bit differently. And really cool. It's got the date on the tang right in there. It's pretty cool stuff. Really cool. Look how they used to mark stuff. Pretty awesome. Neat. Look at this. This is a Normark, which these knives are made in Sweden? Swedish. Thank you. Swedish. And they make some of the finest blades, in my opinion. They do the laminated steel, and they're just razor sharp. Absolutely awesome. Still in the package from the, let me see, 1996. Still in the package. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see what else we got in here. Got one of these things. This is from Cold Steel. It's an interesting knife. What a cool bushcraft knife this would make. Look at that. Nice thick blade. This is a Red River. This is a sub-company of Cold Steel a ways back. Really cool. Linseed oil on there. You can kind of smell it. Cool stuff. Cool beans. What else we got in here? An old Swiss Army knife. Pennies on the dollar here. Pennies on the dollar. Ooh, look at this. We got a old timer skinning knife. Like I said, don't pay attention to these. These prices mean absolutely nothing. So it's probably from a garage sale from God knows how long ago. Ooh, look at this one right here. Old timer. See the corrosion on it, but that's good. That's what collectors are looking for, you know? They're looking for that, and it's brass, so it just buffs right on out. Fantastic knife there. Beauty. Let's see if we got something more interesting. Got some more of those. Some more of these. Ah, look at this. It comes with a deck of cards. Isn't that kind of weird, huh? I guess people want to cut up their stick and get a deck of cards with it. Also got a deck of cards here. Look at that. So how do I know how much these things are worth? Well, experience. Experience will tell me how much these things are worth. Good example. Here's an old Schrade, just a cardboard box. No one would really know any different. You know, you'd just be like, you know, whatever. Great. I got a few of these actually in this deal. This is an old Schrade. Brand new, still in the box. Now, what makes Schrade collectible? Let me see here. They went out of business, and everything is made in China now. This knife is absolutely made unbelievably perfect, and it feels solid as ever. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, and people are willing to pay. On eBay right now, this knife is going from between $80 and $100. Now granted, when I sell it, I always do. Lately I've been doing free shipping, so that cost me a couple bucks. Plus eBay takes their 10%. PayPal takes a few percent also. So these are all things that I got to factor in. My gas money, picking them up, my time, etc., etc., and then reinvesting it into my collection. And my collection is ever expanding. As you guys have seen in my other videos, my collection is always expanding, and I'm always getting more collector grade knives in, and knives that I feel that are gonna mature into very valuable artifacts. Oh yeah, there's another one. Buck quality. Now this one, this isn't really collectible, but it was a really good price. Look at that buck. That's a beauty. Brand new in the box. They don't make this one anymore. If someone happened to like this one, you know, it's an old Odyssey. Original price $29.96. Neat. Kershaw. It's got a bunch of these Kershaw knives in this deal. Let's see. Look at that, from an old $53.95. $22. Neat, neat, neat. These Kershaws are great bushcraft knives. Why do I say that? It comes with a nice sheath. And look at that blade. Nice and thick. And look at the shape. Beauty. Very beautiful knife. Good solid lockup. Fantastic. So with experience, you know which knives are valuable, what you can sell them for on eBay. So that way when you're in the store, you're not sitting there digging through some book or researching an eBay in front of the person you're trying to purchase the knives from. That can kind of hurt your ability to purchase knives for a cheap price. So it's research, knowing what knives are valuable, knowing what you can get for them, and knowing when you're paying too much. And you have to factor in all the different things, the shipping, all that, the price that eBay takes from it, whether or not you're running a website, which I am going to start running a website again because I'm going to have more time. But you know, when I do, a lot of my things are going to be priced for the collector. Some things will be priced for, you know, somebody that wants to go out in the woods and have a really nice hunting knife. This is a very fine knife. I'd place my life on this thing. Fantastic knife. Some things will be priced for the collector. For example, look at these buck tools. Here's a buck tool. You guys probably didn't know that Buck made multi-tools, but really quick history on these things. They came out in, I believe, 1996. 1997. Buck carried a line of Buck tools for about 1 year. They came out at the show. Their quality was so incredible that they won Knife of the Year. They received a year's worth of orders within the first month of production. And at that point, they stopped making them because of the profitability. But these things are built incredible. Now notice how that opened up. Look how that opened up. Now you've seen my multi-tool history video. I have that online still. Look how that opens up. Doesn't open up like a Leatherman. Now the reason it doesn't open like the Leatherman is because it'd be copyright infringement, right? Or whatever it's called, patent infringement. This is totally different the way it opens up. It has its drawbacks, but it does have its definite advantages. This is a fantastic, beautiful tool. Right now, for the collector, they are selling for about $140 on eBay. Okay. Now some of you are like, 140 bucks, I'll go out and buy a Leatherman. This is not for the user, okay, because there are collectors out there that are willing to pay $140 for this, due to the fact that this is brand new in the box. You can't get these anymore. So for someone that collects buck knives and has a whole huge display or whatever, this is a fantastic thing for them. I have buck lights, I have the buck large tool kits, all that. They're all different. These are all different. Real neat. I really like this knife. This knife is just incredible. I mean, the fit and finish on these is just amazing. I mean, it surpasses Leatherman. It's got like little icons saying what's inside of it here, you know, little icons. You guys can see that. Got a little ruler up here, a little grippage. Real nice. You can get some nice purchase on this. I'm digging it. It closes on up like that. Look how small and compact that is. How neat is that? You just stick that in your little survival kit. Remember my survival kit video? Let's see here. You could take that out and just stick that one in right here. Wow, look at that. Pretty cool. Doesn't take as much room. Might have to think about that one. But hey, I thought I'd give you guys some inside information. I hope you guys find it interesting. If people wonder how and why I sell knives and what I do, it's kind of like a little hobby I got. It's a good way of making extra money to expand your own personal collection. And if you want to start a business, you got to get yourself a business license and all that good stuff. And you know, you gotta do all the laws. You know, Uncle Sam wants their cut. You know, want their cut, especially in these times where small businesses, for some reason, are being destroyed by our government. Because my inventory, I would spend and I would take in possibly more than $200,000 worth of knives. God forbid I did, right? Because then I'd be considered what, one of them 1%ers, one of those people that need to be hated and taxed to death. The problem is that $200 that I spend is always constantly being reinvested. So I'll take that money that I earn and I'll reinvest it into next year's stock. So that $200,000 really isn't $200,000. I'm actually making a lot less than that. So when you have your own business, a lot of that stuff is reinvested in your business. And so that's kind of why I'm holding back a little bit to start my own business. It's all the paperwork and licenses and fees and taxes that you got to pay is just ridiculous. So at this point, I just buy and I stock up, and I'm waiting for a different administration to come. And once that different administration comes, I will open up a nice small business and possibly be able to generate some tax revenue for our country. But at the same time, I need to be able to feed my family. So just a little some thoughts. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. You guys take it easy. Later.